Hey guys, it's Len from the Halfway Homestead. We've been talking about the state of our homestead. Chris and I have been walking around and we've now been here a year. And so what we want to do is going forward is kind of document the changes in the property over year to year, and we thought a good opportunity would be on our 1 year anniversary from when we closed on the property. So this could be kind of a long one, maybe 10-15 minutes, but it's kind of be good for us to document the successes and the failures that we have year to year, and what things worked and what didn't, and hopefully that will save you guys some time down the road and seeing that. So we're just going to kind of walk through, so bear with me. Up here you can see behind me we have pots everywhere. We had none of this stuff last year. We've got all of our fresh herbs and so forth that have been great all year long. We've used in our kitchen. Down this way, all of this is all fresh comfrey that cuttings that we planted 2 weeks ago, and they're already coming up nice and large. We've got, I think, about 8 of them so far that have already come up, and these will all go into what's going to be our garden area. We'll get to here in a few minutes. We've added the farm cat Hobbs, who is the king of the property, and just chilling on the old dog mat. He's absolutely content to be there. That's where he likes to sleep. These are the last 2 comfrey that we planted earlier in the spring that we've been using for some chop and drop. All the comfrey we put out into our under the actual ground, our ducks have ate it completely down. So this stuff here is stuff that we salvaged, and we'll be using it going forward. So as we back up here, bear with Carissa as she walks backwards. We do still have our sprouting system here that we use for the ducks, where we sprout sunflower seeds for them every day. This is what they get for breakfast. I'll give you an idea of what this is. 2 days worth of growth here, and you can hear the ducks. They know that sound. And day 3 they'll be about twice that size. We just fabricated a little lid to keep on it because we do have lots of squirrels and they want to get in here and eat that seed. And so that's worked out really well. That's been a win for us. As we come on down the stairs, we've got our peckins and the rest of our other ducks out there as well. So we've added in, when we first bought this property, I think there was an earlier video for it. All of everything in front of the house was all holly bushes and some sort of bird, like foliage for feeding birds, wild birds. Nothing you could eat edible for yourself. We added in some blueberries and some raspberries and some blackberries, and we had mixed success. We've since finished it off. This is all blueberry over here with a couple of golden raspberries. And then on this other side over here, we've got all blackberry and raspberry. This is all deep mulch. There's like 8 inches of wood mulch here, just to help retain moisture and so forth in what is basically a big mountain where we lose a lot of our water. This is really just to keep the ducks out of it. We will eventually go through and put in some borders here to help clean it up a little bit more, and likely we'll end up having to put some sort of larger netting for the birds as these plants get bigger to keep the birds out. But for right now, it's just to keep the ducks themselves out of it. As we move this way, we've got all the ducks here. They're probably going to get loud on us. Hello, ladies. So, we've recently put in roughly about 400 feet of fence posts. This whole area that's going to be enclosed is going to be our garden. It's going to be kind of a mini orchard. And the fence posts, again, are just here. We're going to end up putting in wire going from post top to post top and hanging some fencing, some deer fencing from there. That's to keep deer out and keep the ducks out. They really had a great time trying to eat up all of our onions and carrots and stuff this past year, and pretty much everything on the ground.
So we can't have that because we got to feed ourselves, and we want them to have forage, but we need to have our own. So this whole area is getting fenced off. We put in this trellis kind of setup this year, and it was a huge success for things that climb. We still have green beans growing, and we've totally ignored them now for like 8 weeks. We have taken out the rest of the stuff. We had some squash and zucchinis in here, and we had tons of cucumbers. And this was just 16-foot goat panels jammed in between raised beds. One of the failures was these guys. We had these for free. We decided to give them a shot and use them as raised beds on the inside. But as you know, with plastic and sunshine, they just shatter into a million pieces. So this year we will go through and add in more raised beds built out of wood on the inside there for permanent fixtures. Coming around this way. Looks like we got a rogue egg too. This whole area here is basically going to be turned into massive garden with a series of raised beds on contour that will help hold back all the water that comes rushing down this mountain. Up by the pond area here where she's showing you at now, this is all going to turn into a keyhole garden next year, but this year basically just didn't do anything. We were going to use it for a fire pit, and then we forgot we were on top of clay, and rain hit, and the ducks turned it into a big poop pond. So we're not burning anything in there. It's pretty gross right now. But the future is that this will be kind of a keyhole garden. All of the fruit trees we put in this year, earlier this spring, this is where it talks, it pays to take and actually plan ahead. And part of that would be to know where you want stuff long term. We got to move all these trees this year when they go dormant. We initially put our garden in over there and fruit trees here, not thinking at all that the sun comes up over there. And so as these trees grow up, it would shade out the garden, and we would have a really hard time getting some good sunlight there. So all the trees are getting moved that way, and all of this is going to be turned into garden for a lot of perennial type stuff as well. Strawberries, asparagus, stuff like that. Jerusalem artichokes, beds that kind of just stick around for a long time. Here comes the rest of the ducks. So as we move through this way, not much going on right here right now, but we do have, I'll wait for Carissa to catch up here so you can hear me. We have installed basically our first couple compost beds, using pallets, make some bins out of them. We haven't had a lot of time to work with it this year, so they're kind of back there, not doing a whole lot right now. This will be much better utilized going into next year. We've also been, this is all the hay that comes out of the duck mansion when we muck it out once a week or so, depending on how messed up they get it. This is all going to get laid into the fresh garden beds as it's helping to break down and create some better soil for us. Other than that, there's not much changes on this side of property. We do have another set of ducklings that we're raising. And these guys will come in to lay in the spring. Right around the time the spring hits, they will start laying, which is phenomenal. There are 10 Welsh Harlequins in here and 25 white layers. And they will probably get integrated with the other flock in about 2 weeks or so. We think they'll be pretty big at that point, that it should be okay. That's pretty much it for right now. We have obviously built the duck mansion. We've done videos on that before. We've talked about that in depth, so I won't walk you all the way over there. But this is kind of year one. None of this was here. When we bought this place, it was just a house on a mountain. And we've done a lot of planning. And now I'm looking and I'm watching the ducks eat the strawberry plants. We're gonna have to fix that. Never actually seen them mess with the strawberries before, but they are totally doing that, and that explains why I haven't had any ever-bearing strawberries in the last month and a half. So, but that's where we're at right now, guys. We have a lot to do this fall still. We've got to get a lot of the side fields seeded. They're just not providing a lot of forage right now. It's basically all washed away. So that's one of our big projects right now. Another project that we're going to try to get off the ground this fall is in this patio area here you see behind me. We want to try to put up some semblance of a greenhouse so that we can get a earlier start on our garden starts for next year. Other than that, that's basically it for right now. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Subscribe if you haven't already. You know, we definitely could use the help and the support. Every time that you hit the like button, or you subscribe or share us out, it does give us an opportunity to show up a little higher in the people's search engines if they're looking for things like homesteading and entrepreneurship and kind of just building, you know, self-sufficiency. So we really do appreciate it. And, you know, let us know if you need anything. Thanks, guys.